Stand, ladies and gentlemen, with the update that for 33 years, this man, Sajad Ahmed Bazaz, was allegedly working at the behest of the Pak ISI. He was an ISI mole, a plant and asset who was operating in the erstwhile state of Jammu Kashmir, Ladakh, and in the Union Territory, currently the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. And in a first of its kind move, the Jammu and Kashmir Bank sacked its chief manager, Sajad Ahmed Bazaz, after investigations unraveled that he had links with the Pak ISI and also was in touch with terror outfits. The bank officials in a statement said that Sajad Bazaz was sacked as he posed a threat to the security of the state. So what did the probe agencies actually find? They found that the Pak proxy, this Pak proxy is under the scanner, and during its course of investigations it has been proven that Sajad Ahmed Bazaz is a resident of Batmalu in Jammu and Kashmir. Then in 1990, he was planted in Jammu and Kashmir Bank by the Pak ISI via Fayaz Kalu, the owner and editor of Greater Kashmir. Sajad Bazaz was appointed to the post of cashier cum clerk. In 2004, he got promoted to head of internal communications. Sajad was promoted thrice despite not clearing the Kajib certified associate of Indian Institute of Bankers examination. Despite that, he was promoted. The requirement for a written test was also dropped for him. In this case, sensational details about Sajad have thereafter emerged during this investigation. One, that he was secretly working for the Pak ISI. Two, he was a deep asset of the terrorist separatist network. Three, he was allegedly illegally working at Greater Kashmir also. He wrote articles supporting the Pakistani agenda, soft separatist tones. His articles glorified terrorist secessionist campaign in Jammu and Kashmir. He also used different pen names to conceal his real identity. He added one additional J and also dropped his surname Bazaz for his articles. So he became Sajad Ahmed. But it was him all along. He told the Pak line of UN intervention in Jammu and Kashmir, tripartite talks and human rights violations in his columns titled Off the Record and WhatsApp. He communicated with Masood Azhar's close aide Shabir Bukhari. And not just that, he even used the Jammu and Kashmir Bank money to further Pak propaganda. Intel sources further reveal that he funded select few newspapers and magazines in Jammu and Kashmir, giving them loans and doles. Funding was done through advertisement money drawn from the Jammu and Kashmir Bank. Sajad also owned and operated around 68 accounts in the J&K Bank. From 2015 to 2023, Greater Kashmir received disproportionately higher and favorable allotments. And in 2012, there was a sudden surge in pro-Pak newspapers and magazines in Jammu and Kashmir. Sajad Bazaz's agenda was to propagate and amplify Pak jihadi narrative, anti-India narrative. His aim was to push the Pak ISI narrative in a very, very vitriolic manner. The crackdown on Jammu and Kashmir government by the Jammu and Kashmir government has irked many, with former chief ministers, PDP chief Mehbooba Mufti slamming the J&K administration. And she has also gone on to say in her words that you are selectively terminating Kashmiri employees from service, wrongfully dubbing them as terror sympathizers and pro-Pak, accused, not given a chance to prove their innocence, hooliganism to frighten Kashmiris into submission. But the Jammu and Kashmir LG, Manoj Sinha ji, making it very clear that there will be no compromise in the fight against terrorism and terror assets. Listen in.
भारत के संविधान का जब निर्माण हो रहा था तो 311 का जो प्रोविजन है उस समय के हमारे देश के संविधान निर्माताओं ने, चाहे डॉक्टर अम्बेडकर हो, सरदार पटेल, सबने ये व्यवस्था रखी थी कि जिन तत्वों से स्टेट को खतरा है, जो इंटीग्रिटी के लिए खतरे हैं, उन पर कार्रवाई की जा सके और पूरे साक्ष्य के साथ कार्रवाई की गई। और इसलिए कौन क्या कहता है ये महत्वपूर्ण नहीं है, ये मैं फिर दोहराना चाहता हूं। ये हमारे सरकार की सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता है कि जिसका भी टेरर इकोसिस्टम से संबंध रहा है, जिसने भी आतंकवाद को बढ़ाने में अपना योगदान दिया है, गलत तरीके से अगर वो सरकारी नौकरी में आया है, तो जब प्रमाण मिलेगा, साक्ष्य मिलेगा, उन्हें निश्चित रूप से उनके खिलाफ विधिक ढंग से कार्रवाई की जाएगी।
Ahmed Ayaz and Lalit Ambardar with us. Lalit Ambardar, your reaction? to this crackdown?
Anand, I have been always maintaining there was a quasi-Islamic state, a mini Pakistan flourishing in Kashmir all these 70 years since Article 370 was accorded to Kashmir. And what were the main components of this Islamic state? Number one, the so-called mainstream of Kashmir. Abdullahs and Muftis are the original Islamists of Kashmir. They never speak a word against Pakistan because Pakistan said rishta kya la ilaha illallah. And then you had Hurriyat, for example, overgrown separatists, stooges of Pakistan. Durrani and Dulak in their jointly authored book says, Dulak says, Hurriyat was our representation in Kashmir. And then you had underground jihadis, AK-740 sitting jihadis, stooges of ISI operating in Kashmir, killing Hindus, killing Indians in Kashmir. And then fourth, which is very, very important, that was the administrative ecosystem that enabled this mini quasi-Islamic state to flourish in Kashmir. That was penetration of Pakistani stooges in administration. Vis-a-vis, for example, academia, universities, colleges, that's education. Then your banking system, general administration. Now this man, if you start cleansing all of these elements from the Kashmir administrative system, the governance system, then you will left no one there. So I'm glad they are targeting at least the kingpins. They're targeting the kingpins. Can you imagine? He got planted by ISI. ISI is in Rawalpindi. They are operating at GHQ Rawalpindi. But who enabled him to enter Jammu Kashmir Bank? I'm sure these are Indian Kashmiri Muslims living in Kashmir. The administration that who was heading the Jammu and Kashmir Bank that time, and who were the ministers, who were the political push behind this man, and how was he raising money to all these anti-India propaganda machinery press operating in Kashmir? And don't forget, this is the reason that Kashmiri Hindu genocide was never acknowledged. Not even one perpetrator of rape, murder, mass murder ever even charged, because these people reign the system there. वो कहते हैं ना कि हुकूमत तुम्हारी है, system तो हमारा चलेगा. This was the Islamo-fascistic ecosystem that was flourishing in Kashmir, and on 5th August 2019 you began the process of dismantling this very Islamo-fascist ecosystem. It's an old disease.
Right.
It will take time, but Kashmir Jazz remains a military problem. That has to be tackled militarily, and it is being done so as we talk. There was an attempt to breach. It has been thwarted by Indian security forces to breach LOC, and there's an ongoing encounter in South Kashmir.
Yes, it is.
Kashmir Jazz is on, it's kicking,
See,
and
because
we're
that
fighting
desperation
it out.
is
But
visible.
This non-military Pakistan stooges operating in the system of Kashmir, they have to be weeded out. I think that's very, very important.
See, in the last 4 years, more than
all the system administration, they have to be weeded out.
It took about a year and a half to 2 years, Lalit Ambarwal.
It
took about a year and a half to 2 years before they started cracking down on it since the abrogation of 370. But so far, more than 50% people. I think if I remember correctly, at least 54. That includes police personnel,
you're right.
academicians, journalists, and also doctors. They've all been sacked or acted against, including bureaucrats or people working in the government. Ahmad Ayaz, now these people are pushing narratives. These people are trying to set the tone, and the entire nation was falling prey to it. And they're all stooges of ISI. This guy Sajad Bazaz.
See, Anand, well, there could be appointments done wrongly, and then the promotions of the employees done with certain considerations. That to that extent, we agree, and there's nothing wrong in agreeing to that extent. But to say that somebody is involved in, security of the state and in some of the activities or the activities like what has been talked about with Sajad Bazaz, I think sitting here it will be very difficult for us to say that it is there. We have to only believe the agencies and the system to say that what's what about it. Believing that he was involved, he has some involvement in all these things. Then the point is whether there is a system to see that there is a system called conduct rules and then code of conduct, and then the standing orders 1947 which govern the services of the employees. So question here is how is that, even if somebody is found to be involved in any activity, isn't that he is to be given the opportunity of being heard and inquiries to be conducted, and then the principles of natural justice are not to be followed? Is that we call it simply an hire and fire system in a country, the democratic country like India? I don't think that part is correct. Well, if there is an involvement of somebody, he need to be given an opportunity, he need to be heard, and he has to be given, the justice of nature.
Well, I have limited time. I just need to read this out about Sajad Ahmed Bazaz, which is coming from the Jammu and Kashmir government and also the intel sources. Now, he's a critical component of the overall terror ecosystem, carefully nurtured by the adversary, and the most defining feature of this ecosystem is to try and maintain an air gap by layering between gun-wielding terrorists and the entire paraphernalia that supports and protects these terrorists in a variety of ways. These include creating and providing popular legitimacy through a combination of fear of gun and propagation of false narrative, obstructing and subverting the rule of law through bar associations and advocates when the law enforcement attempts to book them, and then to take the matter to legal conclusion. Arrange strategic logistics such as finances and tactical logistics such as SIM cards, phones, transport, food, medical attention, hideouts, information and law enforcement agencies and security forces, parallel intelligence network to identify and kill all those who try and expose the terrorists and their ecosystem. Sajad Ahmed Bazaz is in frequent communication with another linchpin of the terror ecosystem, namely Shabir Hussain Buch of Srinagar. Shabir Hussain Buch is known close associate of Mushtaq Latram, chief of the Al Umar terror outfit and a constituent member of the UJC, and a close, that is the United Jihad Council, and a close associate of Masood Azhar, the Jaish-e-Mohammed chief. Latram and Masood are operating from Pakistan. So this is the further proof that this man was up to no good. He was the front.
Agree.
He was the front, sir. Beyond doubt, he was the front.
I agree.
Sir,
we will take this. Needed to be
no, the lid has come off. That's why he's been sacked and action will be taken. I have to wind up on that note. Thank you very much, Lalit Ambardar. And
Anand.
thank you. I have to wind up, sir.